Hey everyone, today I'm going to walk you through to attract ideal clients to your business on your personal page. And I'm going to walk you through like what to post on the personal page, what's the difference between the personal page and the Facebook group. I'm going to walk you through the things you absolutely should not be doing if you want to attract your ideal client and give you some really solid examples. And this is absolutely mission critical because if you are part of our community, I am sure you want to earn full-time income with your online business. And we all know that if we're going to do that, we have to be consistent on social media. But the most frequently asked question that we get since we've been coaching social media for the past 7 years has been, what do I post? And there are some nuances between what you post on your Facebook personal profile and what you post in your group. I'm going to go through all that today. If you guys would like the notes, I have them here. I promise we'll type them out for you. But I have them here if you want the notes, and I'll probably put screenshots of the examples as well. Just go ahead and type notes below. And next week, we are having a 5-day social media challenge where I'm going to walk you through the big picture strategy on social media, the proof of work post that I talk about today, and a bunch of other stuff that's going to help you improve your engagement so that you can connect with your ideal clients. So, enough for the intro. Let's go ahead and dive in. When I first started Facebook, this was back in 2010. I had just gotten my first iPhone, maybe the year before. I'd been pushing back for a while. And then I had Zoe, and Zoe was the most, objectively speaking, a very beautiful baby. And so that was when Facebook was like, "What are you doing right now?" And literally all I had was a baby who slept all day, and I was just sitting around. I was like, "I'm eating this." And then I just posted pictures of the baby. And people said that Zoe was the most photographed newborn in the history of the world. Let me know in the comments if you guys can relate to that. If you can relate to having your Facebook profile and taking pictures of your kids and sharing them with your friends and family, or just like whatever random things. If that's how you got onto Facebook, let me know. I want to know that I'm not the only one. And then several years later, it wasn't until 2016 I left my corporate job and started this online business where this became my work. And I actually didn't know anything about how to post on social media or what I was supposed to be posting. I knew I needed to create content. And so I had a podcast. I knew that, but I didn't actually know what to do at all over here. And so I worked with my business coach, Heather, on the 5 post strategy that she taught me, and then I've adapted it over time. It's worked really, really well. What's very cool is a strategy that I'm going to share with you today, or the thoughts I'm going to share with you, have worked back then, they work now, and they'll work maybe with slight adjustments moving forward because it's all based on what people actually want when they come to Facebook and stuff that people find enjoyable and interesting regardless of trends. And for me, I don't want to be someone that I am not. I want to be, this is who I am. If you run into me at the grocery store, this is who I am. And I know that I felt a lot that I had to be someone I wasn't. The initial videos that I did were still like in corporate clothes, and I look back at those and I'm like, wow, I was still trying to like dress the part or be whoever I was supposed to be. And what I love about what I'm going to share with you is we got this really great message from one of our clients, Liz. And she said, "I want to affirm you and tell you that of everyone who's teaching social media out there, since I dove in, you are the most effective in yielding results and teaching what anyone can do. Others out there are teaching stuff only influencers can do." So what I am going to walk you through is I'm going to walk you through like how I went from mom posting a million pictures of baby to, full-time online entrepreneur, and I just get to be myself every single day. And of course that evolves over time as well, but I don't have to be someone I'm not. And I love that, and I want that for you as well. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between the Facebook personal profile and the Facebook group. So the Facebook personal profile is like this guy, right? This is the one that's just me. And then the group is my online community where I'm going to have my target market. So this is my group and this is my personal profile. So what I'm going to talk about today, what the heck do we post on the personal profile? Now, when we're on our personal profile, we are really trying to connect with people we don't know. We're going to use our personal profile to create new connections, maybe participate in Facebook groups. Maybe we're doing speaking events and people are coming to our social media profile. So it's really going to be for people that don't really know us and also just to stay connected. And then the Facebook group, that is where we're really inviting our target market to be a part of that community. We're creating a sense of belonging and we're leading the community towards a specific outcome, like the actual result with our business. So the personal page is about us and the Facebook group is about them. That is the biggest differentiator when it comes to what do we post on our personal page and what do we post in our group. There will be some overlap where you'll have stuff that is about you that is also about them. And in that case, we can put it in both places and that's totally fine to do. So when we're speaking on our personal page, we're typically going to use, because we're going to tell personal stories or things that we are actually doing in our life. When we're in our group, we're going to use the term we because it is a community and we're going to try not to use you as much as possible because written format, it's kind of off-putting, right? If you're like, you're this and you're this and you're this and they're just reading it in their feed and they're like, right? We want to use you sparingly. I will probably say you a few times in this video as we go through, but you'll notice I'm not going to put anyone on the spot. I'm usually going to say, if you can relate to this, let me know, right? Or if this is you, I would love to hear about it. So it's really more about the interaction that you're trying to get with your post when you're using the word you as opposed to ranting. Some absolutely do not do's in addition to overly using you is we don't want to rant. We don't want to give our full offer. That's not going to attract ideal clients. And we're not typically going to do teaching posts straight on our personal page like this one that I'm doing right now. I'm not going to post it in the personal page. I'm going to post this in the group because this is about our target market trying to get the outcome, which is full-time income. And so that's where this lives, does not live on my personal page. So this is about you. So I'm going to talk about two types of posts today. One is called a proof of work post and one is called a proof of life post. And these aren't technical terms, but this is the way I categorize what I'm doing on my personal page. So a proof of work post is a post that answers the question, what are you up to at work? And a proof of life post answers the question of what's new in your life or what are you up to in your life. We want to always have two because what we want to demonstrate on our personal page is competence, what we're working on, and also relatability, like we are real people doing real things with real interests, and those commonalities that we have or the inspiration that we have in our personal life creates more connection on social media because people want to work with people they trust or they have things in common with. And if they only know our professional side, just the proof of work stuff, and we're just always talking about work and they never get a chance to see behind the scenes, they're not going to consider that work stuff authentic. And authenticity is a huge thing, especially with AI right now. And so if you want to AI proof your business, we have to talk about our actual life. ChatGPT can't do proof of life posts because ChatGPT is not alive. So what is a proof of work post? And then I'm going to pull up some examples for you. Okay, so a proof of work post can be any milestone. I learned this from my coach, Sarah Ann Black. So any milestone. So did you cross a milestone for clients? Did you cross a milestone for how many group members? Are you celebrating how many followers you have? Did you get a great result for a client that you want to celebrate? How many years have you been in business? These are all milestones that you would have in your business that catch people's eye and they're like, okay, cool, this person is doing stuff. Celebrate your milestones. It's exciting. This is what social media is for, and it helps people to see your credibility. Another type of proof of work post is what you're actually working on or what you just did. We have done proof of work posts like, hey, I just did this thing. Would you guys like to see it? Or it could be resources that we're working on. It could be events that we're working on, things that we were just doing or we're about to do. And the third thing that I think really works well for the personal page is going to be learning, lessons learned. So these could be lessons I've learned from, being in my niche. So for me, it would be lessons learned in business from my experience. If you're a health coach, it might look like lessons I've learned about my health. So we're sharing lessons that we've learned from experience. Or the other thing could be from conferences you've attended or books you've read or, things you're actually learning and the insights that you're learning and being able to share those. All of those would be good proof of work posts. So I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick on my profile. And I'm also going to show you Karen's because Karen does an amazing job at social. Talk a lot, do a lot of videos and a lot of coaching and not perfectly executing to the level I want. And that's also to say, sometimes we don't hit our content strategy the way exactly we want. But one of the things I'm committed to is if I miss a day, I'm just going to post the next day or the day after that, right? As soon as I'm able to. So I'm not going to go into the jacuzzi of shame. I'm just going to post. So here's a proof of work post. At that point, I was currently working on putting together a bunch of templates. Who wants a copy when I'm done? That's a pin post. That's one of our, signature lead magnets. I had just done the profit and loss for last year and I was like, hey, that's cool. I want to swipe the 5-post strategy. So this is a resource that I have and kind of a milestone. I thought that was good. I'll get to that later. Here is a proof of work post, a speaking event that I did. And this you can see is actually a lessons post as well. So I walked through different lessons that I learned. This was, hey, I'm about to speak at a thing. Who wants to go? Right? This is a huge milestone, 10 years on the corporate job. I think I wrote too much there. I thought I'd get a little bit more on that. Proof of life I'll get to later. And here's kind of a hybrid, right? Where I'm pretty excited, right? That I did this video in my group. So I'm not posting the group there. I'm not posting the group video. I'm just like, would you guys like it? And then we got a bunch of people that wanted it. So those are some examples from my page on proof of work posts. We'll head on over to Karen's profile. Just wrote down the 5 phrases I use to make more sales while serving clients well. Over 100 comments on that. Here's a proof of work post. We just met and you can see there's not really a lot going on here. And so she talks about some of the milestones, the conversations we had. We also about ping pong. I'm curious if you want to guess who the champ is, comment. Put in the comments. Who do you think was the ping pong champ, me or Karen? This is a milestone post. We have another resource here. So you can see the different proof of work posts that we use on our personal profile that's like about how we're experiencing our work. We're not like shouting at people. So if this was helpful for you, just proof of work or POW, P-O-W, that's what my late friend Carla Silver called them, POW posts. So go ahead and write POW in the comments if you're good on the proof of work post or give me a thumbs up. All right, the other side of that is going to be the proof of life posts. So we're not just workers, we are also human. So even if our work takes up 1/3 of our life, that's still only 1/3. Okay, 1/3 speaking, but there's like this whole area of life and people want to get to know us. And this is, I think, part of the fun stuff. Now, we never have to give up anything that we consider private. Like I don't post about any health issues I'm having or like struggles in the way that I'm not through it to the other side. I'm not going to try to be someone I'm not. I'm not hiding anything, but I am not comfortable posting about my kid, like if my kid goes to the ER, right? Like everyone has different comfort levels, and I want to give you permission to just talk about the things that you're comfortable speaking about publicly. Other people might really have a high tolerance for that, but you don't need to follow their tolerance. You just need to go to where you feel comfortable. And my coach taught me if you feel comfortable telling a stranger on a plane, then it's probably okay for social media. And that's a really good rule of thumb that I like. So what is a proof of life post? This is the answer to the question, what's new or what's up? And we're going to just answer this question in post on our personal page. So we can ask relatable questions and I'll show you some examples of that. We can show behind the scenes on our family, what's happening with our family. If we choose to post about our family, one of the things that you'll notice is that I will post about my family, but Karen doesn't post a lot about her family. She has teenage boys. They don't want that. Totally cool. She doesn't want that either. You don't have to post about your family to be successful on social media. You can do personal milestones, hobby, like dope moments. This is kind of like if your best friend was hanging next to you, what kinds of things would you be talking about? So let me give you some examples. Here's a proof of life post. This was just some thoughts I had. This is me after basketball workout and just some thoughts I had about still playing sports. So I'm alive, I play basketball. That is one of my hobbies. If I come here, but that's a proof of work. I didn't do such a great job with my proof of life recently. This was my favorite proof of life post. This is me pranking my mom. Let's come down here. Christmas movies, yay or nay? That is a proof of life post. I'm a real person who isn't really sure about that. We got a bunch of people to say stuff. There's a proof of work post. Here's a proof of life post. We did not decorate our tree. I thought that was kind of funny. And so you can just see some of my personality coming out in my personal posts. These aren't overly private, but they do create some conversation and some connection. If I hop over here to Karen's, let's see what we have here. Oh, this is at the top. All right, so proof of life post. This is the view from her house. That's ridiculous. That's snow. So we have that. This is just a weather. What's your weekend weather? Snow or sun? You'll see tons of engagement here. Okay, this was a proof of work post. I'm trying to find the proof of life post I thought was really good. Okay, this was a great proof of life post, and it was just like, dang, this was a day. And then just like a few things that happened, really hoping that we can have a better day and just kind of like, wah, wah, wah. And those kinds of posts are relatable, right? Some of the times, we're here like, hey, here's some helpful resources. And then also we're human. And this allows us to connect from a values perspective, from like a real talk, real human. We don't have to be someone we're not when it comes to our social media posts. Now, if you can't answer the question, how's work and what are you up to? So we've had clients that are like, but I don't have a life. Here's what I am going to say to you, my friend. Get a life. It's part of the job. And I don't mean that like, get a life. I just mean go do stuff. If you don't have a hobby, think about a hobby that you can be involved in. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, but look at some of your interests and take a step back and think about the things that you like to do. And that's the stuff where we're going to do the proof of life posts. If you don't have proof of work posts, then I highly recommend that we all get to work. Maybe we don't have proof of work posts because we haven't been working the way we want to be working. And so not having that post could just be a little bit of a wake-up call for us. And so we want to share our personal journey and we want to get the work. Now, how do we execute this? The way we execute this is we're going to execute this doing the boring day brainstorm. And what the boring day brainstorm is you could just take a notebook, piece of paper. I recommend paper, although you don't have to use paper. You could type it out. And we're just going to look at the last week. And there's 3 questions that I want to ask you to ask yourself. Number 1, did I have any milestones in the past week? Did I have a personal milestone or a work milestone? Some examples. Did I clean out the garage? Milestone. Did I lose 5 pounds? Milestone. Did I join the gym? Milestone. Started teaching a kid to drive? Milestone. A few weeks ago, we bought Zoe a car. That's a milestone. Did you prank your mom? I don't know if people prank their moms as much as I like to prank my mom, and I don't know why I want to do this, but I find it very, very enjoyable. And the second question, what have you been working on? So if I started to do a boring day thing, I would talk about the retreat that we went to. It wasn't really boring, but we just call it the boring day brainstorm. So I might put, we did a retreat. I had, I don't know, like 20 one-on-one calls in 3 days or something crazy, 4 days, something crazy like that. So I might say, oh my gosh, I crossed over X amount of coaching calls. That's actually probably a pretty good one. I just made a resource on this. I just updated the roadmap, right? There's all sorts of things that we're doing. I could also share an insight from a book I was reading. There's a lot of different things I could do as far as what I'm working on. The third thing is what's new. And some of those might be milestones, or some of those just might be normal everyday things that you're doing. And those normal everyday things create that connection and create that relatability. So as we wrap up here, what I want to just give you a quick summary on is we've got the personal page. This is about us. The group is about we. This is about the target market. We're going to do proof of work posts, what the answer to the question of what are we working on, and proof of life posts, which are the answer to what's new or what's up. We want to have 3 posts a week, but if you just do one of each, you'll be off to the races. No one is looking at your profile and analyzing your posting nearly as much as you are. And so I know you can do it. You will get better and better over time. You'll get more comfortable. But the first step is a proof of work post and a proof of life post on a weekly basis. If this was helpful for you, please, please, please jot down your takeaways or what you found helpful. This helps me to make content. If you would like a much better version of the notes than this, just type notes and we'll get you the typed up version and hopefully some of those posts. And also, if you'd like to join us for our challenge, where I'm going to walk you through what to say on social media to increase your engagement and attract ideal clients. And make sure you say challenge in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. I'm going to go and probably write some of those posts that I just brainstormed in this call. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon.